Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hopefully everyone's doing well. I am in rough shape right now because I am without power, and I've been without power for a couple days, and it is the middle of Michigan summer. If any of you know what that means it is hot and it is humid, so I've been suffering. But today I got a little video for you guys on a Cabela's brand Yeti type cooler. I purchased this cooler about 4 or 5 months ago. It's actually kind of a funny and sad story. I went on a turkey hunt and I shot my very first turkey, and it was a Michigan record book turkey. I think it scored like close to 16 inches, which if any of you know what that means, it's a big turkey. It was about 30 to 35 pounds. But the same day I shot my turkey, my dog impaled herself, so I couldn't get the turkey to a taxidermist. So my options were either A, lose a whole bird, or B, go buy this cooler. And I was already in a bad mood because I had to pay for emergency surgery for my dog. So that's why I have this cooler. No, it was not a responsible purchase at all, but I have not regretted it because I've used it quite a bit and it does perform pretty well. But that's been for short-term stuff. Today, it's a more long-term review. When the power went out on Thursday in the evening, I stuffed 22 pounds of ice in there and all the food from our refrigerator. And now today is the evening on Saturday. So this is a real life scenario. It's been averaging about 80 to 90 degrees and humid in Michigan. So we're gonna take a look at this together here and see what we got going. I have not looked in here yet, so we are going to look at this all together. All right, and we're back. So I got all my food out and it's all super cold. I rotated the cooler so you guys could see better in the light, but it is predominantly water. There are good chunks of, a good amount of ice in here. You know, I would say maybe 5% of all the ice that I threw in here, which was 20 to 22 pounds. Of that 20 to 22 pounds, maybe 5% is remaining. But I will say that water in there is near freezing cold. It's definitely colder than what a refrigerator would keep a temperature at. So it's probably just below or above the freezing point. Now, to be clear, this isn't a comparison of cooler brands. This is a performance review of this cooler. Yeti, Arctic, all those state-of-the-art brands, are they going to perform roughly the same? Yes. Are some going to perform better? Maybe. I don't know. All I'm saying is for the 2.5 days that I've had to put my food in this cooler, not only has it dropped the food below the temperature I originally put it in, but it has kept ice and it has saved all my food. So this cooler, is it worth the money? That's dependent on your situation. For me, this year, it saved, not only did it save my turkey, but it saved me from having to go out and buy an entirely new refrigerator. So far, to me, yes, this cooler is worth the money, especially if you're going to have power outages like our lovely state of Michigan frequently goes through. So I would absolutely buy this cooler again, hopefully in a different situation where I'm more excited to purchase it. But that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you liked the video. Comment if you guys want to see anything. I did have a viewer say that they wanted me to do some of my hunting clothing, so I will be showing some of my hunting clothing. I'm explaining the ins and outs of what I use, when I use it, and why I use it. So if you're liking what this channel is with open, honest reviews, hit the subscribe button. There's more to come. And then once hunting season's here, you're going to see a lot more of that type of content. So thanks, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. See ya. All right, so it's finally my power's back on. I wanted to do like a final thoughts evaluation at the end after having some time to actually go through the food, look at it, and decide if I could keep it or if I had to pitch it. Before I get into that part, I do want to apologize. In the original video, my timeline is off a little bit. I do say that it's a 2.5 day window of where we're looking at the cooler at that point. It's actually about a 3 to 3.5 day window when we're looking at the cooler with the ice melted in it. So that is a little bit more impressive in my opinion. And I do think now that the cooler will keep your food cold for 5 days. I still stand on my ground where it won't keep ice for 5 days. At least a cooler of that size won't keep ice for 5 days. But I just want to tell you guys that starting Thursday morning, I put ice in it, and then Saturday evening is when I remove the food. So all my final thoughts are going to be based on when I took the food out on Saturday evening. So I took the time to go through each piece of food, and more or less the frozen stuff is what probably you're watching this video for. So I noticed that with the frozen food, anything that was under the water line stayed rock hard and frozen. There's no thawing of it whatsoever. I was able to take it out of the Ziploc baggie and put it back in the freezer. So that's pretty straightforward. Like I said, when I was originally looking at it, the water probably was pretty close to a freezing point, so it's no surprise that there was no thaw there. However, anything above the water line started to thaw out. And I'm not talking like thaw out to the point where you could plop it into a pan and cook it right on that moment. I'm talking where if you gave the package a little squeeze, there was a little give to the meat. So for me personally, I didn't feel comfortable putting that back in a freezer. I decided to thaw it out entirely and cook it today. But those were my two main observations when I was looking through. None of the yogurt I had in there seemed to be bad. And I found a chunk of ice where the yogurt had frozen. So that tells you how well that cooler performed for that 3.5 days. So hopefully this video helps somebody out there. Again, this is a performance review, not a product comparison. The reason I wanted to make this video is you see all these reviews where people put ice in a cooler and just leave it out in the sun and they come check on it periodically. This gives people a real idea of what to expect when you use it, especially in a situation like this. And I think that is more telling of a product than leaving it out in the sun. So hopefully this helps somebody out there decide whether it's worth their money to upgrade to a more state-of-the-art cooler, or it helps them decide whether or not to go with a more affordable option. So that's all I got for you guys.